I'm Kevin Coleman at the Christopher Conference Center, and we are having an event that is for the entire county. And I see County Planner Devon Shoemaker is here.
Yes, sir.
But you have hired American Structurepoint.
Yes, sir. And a sub-consultant, Montrose Group.
Montrose Group?
Montrose Group.
Okay. Well, can you introduce yourself and tell us what's going on here?
Yeah, happy to do it. My name is Matthew O'Rourke. I'm the Planning and Economic Development Group Leader with American Structurepoint, part of the consultant team, ourselves and Montrose Group, that are here facilitating this process, working on a new comprehensive plan for Ross County.
All right. So this is, Devon, you want to add anything?
Well, yeah, I just want to say that we're glad to have them on board. Montrose Group, American Structurepoint, we have a great relationship. They're going to do great things to help us form a plan that meets expectations of the citizens of Ross County. And just turn it over back to you, Matt.
All right.
Yeah.
And American Structurepoint has been planning the Octangie Park, but this is a completely different.
Yeah, this is a completely different planning effort. That's much more of a design project. Our group specializes in long-range planning, policy planning, things like that. So more like these comprehensive plan projects. We're all urban planners. A lot of us had jobs very similar to Devon, spent time in the public sector doing those jobs. So now we bring that to these efforts.
And American Structurepoint is also updating the city's zoning.
Yes, so that is our group. We're zoning ordinance specialists too that are currently updating the city zoning ordinance.
So just a coincidence that the same company is doing 3 different projects here in Chillicothe and Ross County.
It was 3 different processes, three different selection committees, three different everything. Yeah.
All right. Well, can you tell us, this is your first open house and you've got others that are coming up?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes. So tonight is the first of many open houses. We're kicking it off here in Scioto Township, and so we have some activities specific to here, but you can see we're going to be doing a number of these throughout the county. Really, the whole idea here is we want to get out and talk to as many folks in as many parts of the county as we can. So getting as much feedback. We'll have general county questions at each one, and also tailored to each township as well.
And that's why you have questions for Scioto Township here.
Correct, yeah, because that's what we're focusing on tonight since we're in Scioto Township, sort of thinking a lot of residents from this area are going to be participating, and then as we get out to the rest of the community, we'll be talking to those communities too.
How can someone find this list of locations?
You can go on the Ross County Planning and Development website. If you want to just go to the Ross County's main page, and you can scroll under departments and you can go straight to planning and development. Or you can just simply Google Ross County Planning and Development, and this list will actually be on our front page.
Okay, and the next one is in Frankfurt on February 24th?
Yes.
Okay, these are in chronological order?
Yes.
Okay, and the last one is Adelphi, March 13th.
That's correct.
So pretty rapid process.
Yep, two more months worth. Now that's not going to be the last engagement opportunity either. Later on in the process, there will be more.
Okay, so well, you have a timeline panel over here, so we can take a look at that.
Process for it over there.
Let's go over and start at the beginning and just give us a little tour.
Yep.
Now this panel is of interest to me as a historian, so tell us about the past plans.
So what you see is representing the covers from the last group of documents that made up the previous Ross County Comprehensive Plan. It's been a little while since 1978-80 when that was adopted. That basically this kind of showcases how important it is. And if you look at those documents, you see a lot of what was in there was actually what ended up occurring. It's been a long time, so we want to make sure we have a current document that's modernized and ready to go for the next 20 years.
And these are 40, 50 years old.
Correct. So they were pretty much all adopted in the late 70s.
You know about the Pickaway County thing, right?
So you've got land use plan, housing plan, economic development, neighborhood redevelopment and conservation. And so these will all be addressed in this one plan for Ross County.
Yes, and so these are typical topics that still are pervasive in comp plans in 2025, but we'll probably be addressing some other topics too that have come along since then, like road thoroughfare planning, infrastructure, utility planning, sometimes other issues such as light infill. A whole range of topics can come out of this. Open space conservation, farmland preservation. There'll be a lot of different topics.
We're going to have a strong economic development element to this. There'll be sub-plans within that economic development plan. We'll be looking at site readiness for particular areas potentially, and we're also looking at a specific area when it comes to traffic generation and improvements, meaning what we call the triangle area, starting from Hopetown Road northward along State Route 159, westward along State Route 207, back down River Road. So that's why we call that the triangle. And we're going to develop various development scenarios within that to produce traffic numbers to determine what kind of improvements are needed and at what time in the future. So
And
that's a big part of it.
I covered a discussion with the Ross County Commissioners 9 months ago, maybe.
I think so. Yeah, that would probably have been it. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a partnership with ODOT. I don't want to forget ODOT. They're helping us in that. So.
Hard not to.
Yep.
Let's hop over to and continue our tour here.
Sure.
I've eaten too many cookies.
That's good. That's what they're there for. Yep. So we were talking about some of the meetings that were coming up a little earlier. This board here kind of explains the fruition of the whole process. We're in this first phase now, and you can see we're going to be doing a lot of public engagement efforts. We call it educate, which is we want to just learn as much about Ross County as we can in this first part. Talking to people, data collection. But Devon mentioned earlier, each phase will have engagement baked into it. As we start developing ideas, we want to get those in front of the community. We want to vet those. We want to make sure everything we're doing is in line with what the community's expectations are. And
Now,
so this whole process is set up to do that.
Are you saying you want to learn about Ross County because you're not from here, or you want to hear our opinions?
It's both. So I haven't not grown up in Ross County. I work in other places too, and for me, it's all about knowing all the nuances, all the things that you would try to learn as you did grow up in a place, because those values are really important, and that's part of what hearing from everybody and their opinions is. We want to be able to understand that, so as we put this vision together, it really represents your community. It's not really just our thoughts coming from the outside.
But it helps to come from the outside with a fresh slate, a fresh perspective.
I think sometimes it can. I think we certainly work in other states where they're trying other things, other policy suggestions, and we bring that knowledge with us to see if it might be something that's palatable here.
And your company is based in Indianapolis?
That's where our headquarters is. Yes, we also have a large presence here in Ohio. Our second biggest office is in the Columbus area.
Is that where you're from personally?
I know I work out of headquarters, but most of our team is from the Columbus office.
Our economic development crew from Montrose, they're all based here in Ohio, Columbus.
Correct.
Okay. And I think we've covered what a comprehensive plan is.
Yep.
All right. So now you have the people's vote.
The people's vote. So we try to make this interactive. We want to hear people's opinions. Certainly as we talk to folks, we hear things, but we also want to document what they think of the strengths, the weaknesses, what are the opportunities, where they like to spend their time. There's a board just a little bit about what tourist destinations you've been to. This board in particular is just, what do you think is the strength? And we want to know what the community thinks is the strength, without really mixing our opinions in on that.
So can people also make this vote online?
Yes, there's an online survey. It's still currently active. That's right. Very similar types of information. That's one of the ways we try to get out and get to the community and say, through multi-modes, we want their input so important to us. We want to do it in person. We want to do it virtually, any which way we can. And in fact, we're going to be releasing tomorrow. We actually have a virtual version of this open house that lives online. The exact same boards, the exact same activities, but you can do it all on your computer. It's called a SeekBeak site.
Called a what?
SeekBeak site.
Okay.
Yep.
But you will tabulate all these dots that we've put up here.
Yeah, definitely.
So in addition to that, our online survey is available, again, at my website, Planning and Development. Just go to Ross County's homepage, search under Departments, Planning and Development, and the survey is available right on the front page.
And is that the same as what they're doing here, or?
Similar subject areas, a little different format in the survey, but very similar.
But it all contributes to the same?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, just briefly, I think we can point out all the subjects here.
Yeah, so this board is kind of the same as the first board, just in the inverse. We want to know what the challenges are. The topics are actually the same, and that's intentional because not everybody might agree. So we kind of want to know where those differences of opinions are too, not just where everybody thinks one type of thing's a strength. So that's kind of what we're doing here.
Okay. What we think are the problems.
Yep. We like challenges. We can overcome them. We just got to put our heads together.
Okay.
So something we've already heard in our initial interactions is we need more housing. There hasn't been a lot of housing developed in the area for quite some time. So we're trying to gauge what types of housing people want to see, whether it be one type of variety, or in this case, we're seeing a lot of votes for a lot of different types, so different kinds of homes.
Yeah, well, single unit is definitely in the lead.
Yes.
And it looks like a historic preservationist put a note there at the top.
Yeah. Yes, they did. If they want to make sure we're looking at rehabs, we're going to do it in a historically accurate manner. And that makes sense, especially considering some of the environment we're in.
A lot of historic homes in Ross County.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes. Instead of tearing them down and slapping up something else,
Yep.
we could do better. All right. And favorite topic for me, since I'm in the industry,
Yep.
tourism sites.
Yep. So Ross County is blessed with a lot of great assets when it comes to just being out in nature, or the UNESCO sites, all the things. So we really want to know where Ross residents spend their time and how many of these sites they visited.
So I have to say you could have more, but you cover the top.
Yeah, we put some of the key, kind of the well-known ones, just to get an understanding of how folks are visiting those.
Okay.
This board's really about trying to gauge the community's input on where they think small business challenges are, to bringing in new small businesses, encouraging entrepreneurship. A lot of times when we do this work, we find that it's very easy to think about retail as kind of a bigger business, but we got a lot of good local businesses here we want to support. So what are some things we can do to maybe help increase that shop local sort of mentality?
Okay, so I don't think you're asking about big business here. Right here.
This is particularly about small business.
So big business already has advantages in being big.
Yep, and that can mean a lot of different things. Whether we're talking about employment centers, not just retailers. So we have some other questions we're asking about that. But this one we're going to know about small business. That has become an increasing focus in our work through a lot of communities. And you look around Ross County and you see all the small businesses, whether it be in Chillicothe or Bainbridge or Frankfort. There's a lot of them there, so we want to make sure we encourage that. So I think a lot of people identify with those businesses as part of their community. We want to make sure we're thinking through that and making sure those businesses are here for a long time.
Well, as a small businessman, I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in looking at like Google Maps, there's all these, I presume they're businesses, just everywhere, scattered all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely I saw a lot of them. I've been driving around the county, taking in the sites, and you can see them in all the communities. There's a lot of unique, cool little businesses. We want to make sure that the plan addresses that and is supporting them as well. Yep.
All right, moving on.